You are wrong about everything, and that is okay. I'm wrong about everything. He is, she is, they are, and it's wonderful. Hi, my name is Bethel, and in this video, I am going to tell you why everything you ever know is wrong, and why that's the good news. What is one of your biggest fears? For me, it is not being good enough. And if I do something wrong, it means I'm not good enough. And so I have spent a lot of my life being a perfectionist because I, up until now, never wanted to be wrong. I had to be right because being right meant I would get attention from my family. And it was something I desired. And that was a pattern that repeated in my life, that I felt ignored. However, I would do something amazing. I would get a little bit of attention and I would thrive on that. And I found myself as I got older that I needed to be right and do it right so intensely that if I didn't really truly believe that I could do it perfectly, I wouldn't even try. And I missed out on a lot of things. And most of it was personal growth. The most freeing thing happened when I was told it's okay to be wrong. And, I argued. I fought it. And I listened, though. And these were the words that were said to me. We are all wrong about everything. Think about it. Once upon a time, the world thought the earth was flat. Once upon a time, people thought margarine was better than butter before they discovered the dangers of trans fat. I could go on for many different things that were considered truths, but as science progressed and growth progressed, we now consider to be unsafe and harmful. In the 80s, when I grew up, it was very uncommon that we wouldn't see a cigarette ad everywhere we went. Every TV show had at least 2 or 3 cigarette ads, billboards, movies, Super Bowl, and then it was the cool thing. And now, fast forward 40 years later, the world pretty much agrees that smoking is incredibly harmful and it's moving away from it. We are all wrong. And being wrong is the best thing for you when you're trying to have personal growth. Because when you are wrong, you open yourself up to being willing to change. And when you open yourself up to being willing to change, you open yourself up to grow. So when you're willing to be wrong, and it opens up the power to change, and you then become a little less wrong. And you go upon along that new thought process in your life, and you're open up to growth still, and you realize, oh, I get to adjust this now. And you adjust that, and you're a little bit less wrong. There is never a right or wrong way. It doesn't exist. It is about the journey of personal growth. And as you go along this journey of personal growth, you realize that you're still wrong, but you're less wrong than you were before. When you can settle into this truth that you're going to always be wrong, that there's always a different dimension out there, a different parallel reality, that something is true that you don't believe in, you're able to embrace even more change. So be comfortable with that uncertainty. There is a big movement where everyone is trying to find themselves. And I say, stop. Don't find yourself. Because if you find yourself, that insinuates that you have stopped growing, that you have stopped changing. And we come to this earth to grow and to change and to expand the full expansion, which is constant growth. As we go along this journey of constant growth, we want to keep striving and searching for growth. We want to be gentle in our judgments of others. We want to stay humble and kind. These three different things assist us along this journey of not finding ourselves. Stop trying to be special. Stop trying to be unique. You already are. But when you are looking at, am I special? Am I unique? We are judging ourselves and the world around us, which hinders our growth. So go ahead and accept that you are wrong. You are not special. You are not unique. Because we're all special and we're all unique. I know that when I embraced that, it was easier to let go of this whole not being wrong thing, because I wanted so desperately to be special and so unique, and it was holding me back. But when I realized that I am wrong, it didn't matter anymore. It's kind of funny because it's like an opposite effect. When you want something so bad, like I wanted so bad to be perfect and special and unique. So when I told myself, well, you're not special, you're not unique, but I didn't do it in a self-beat up way. And I told myself, and that's okay. All of a sudden, that desperateness that I was holding inside of me left. And I was able to open up to the realization that my main purpose is to grow and expand. And to grow and expand, I have to be wrong. Another way to grow and expand is to ask questions. To ask your questions about your beliefs, about who you are, about why you do things. Let go of the beliefs and actions that no longer serve you. Let go of those limiting beliefs that hold you back. And don't be afraid to ask why. Why do you sleep on the left side of the bed? Why do you have that cup of tea before you go to bed at night? Why do you celebrate a certain holiday? The more you can ask why and get down to the root of what drives you, the more growth you're able to have and more expansion that comes. Now, I know that when I started asking why, I also got afraid, because what if I would have an answer where I didn't like, and I would find out that maybe I don't like myself. And that's okay, because that's another sign of growth. If I learned something about myself that I didn't like, one of two things could happen. Number one, I could let go of the judgment, because maybe it's not a good or bad thing, because there is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. And number two, I could then go, oh my, that is not who I choose to be, and I'm able to let it go. Also, there is this fear about asking, what if I am a certain way? And because it might become true. I know that there is a lot of talk about narcissism going on in this world. And, I would hear some things that would be like, but I do that. It's not my favorite moment when I do that, but I've done that. Am I a narcissist? And I started to ask why. Why am I doing this? Why does it scare me so bad that I might be a narcissist? And the most freeing thing came when someone who considered themselves a pro on narcissism said, if you have to ask if you're a narcissist, then you're probably not a narcissist. And that was very freeing for me. But during that journey, I had to be willing to accept the fact that maybe I was a narcissist. Maybe I was wrong about how good of a person I thought I was. And that's the good news, because then I could do the inner work and grow and change. But side note, I'm really grateful that I was not considered a narcissist. Aristotle says that it is a mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Let's think about that. Just because someone says something or you think something doesn't make it real. And that you're smart for realizing that. I used to teach, and my favorite grade to teach was second grade. And it's such a fun age because they're stepping into their identities and learning who they are and who they aren't. And not a day would go by where probably 100 times a day I would say, just because little Tommy said so doesn't mean it is so. If he said you have purple hair, would you believe you have purple hair? And without fail, the little kid would be like, no, I don't have purple hair. And I'm like, why? You wouldn't believe him because he said that. Know yourself great enough to know that just because someone says it doesn't make it true. And that is what we get to do in our own lives. And as we get older, the things that come to us, like, am I a narcissist, kind of give a bigger punch in the gut than, what a 7-year-old might experience in second grade. But the process is still the same. Just because I might think it or the world might say it doesn't mean it's true. And if it is true, that's okay. I get to grow and expand. And I get to constantly learn and become and step into my power and embrace this journey we call life. So in conclusion, my friends, be wrong. Embrace being wrong. In fact, being wrong is a good thing. Use it to grow. Use it to expand. And go ahead and write in the comments about the different ways that you're wrong and how you have seen it bless your life. Until next time, much love, much peace, and namaste.